Hey, this is Willie. We're going to continue on with part 2. In the last video, I noticed that the engine RPMs were actually going quite high. So I took the cover off to take a look at some of the adjustments in here, and this governor rod was all the way out on the outside. So I moved it to the inside, and that fixed my throttle control issue. Next thing I had noticed is the primer button wasn't returning correctly, and the spring is kind of weed its way inside here, so I got to take that out of here. Fix that. Turn that around because you can see it's been, I don't know if it wore through, if it was cut at one point, or if it's not the original spring. Not a big deal, so we'll just turn that around, and I need 2 hands to fix that. So I'm going to continue on with that, and because RPMs went a little bit high, some oil came out, and carburetor is leaking a tiny little bit. So I'm probably going to have to leave this thing run for an hour or so to get that needle and seat seated in. We'll see. I may have to do some more exploratory or exploration into the carburetor to figure out why it's not sealing, even though it's got a brand new needle and seat in it. Also, a little bit of information is I got my needle back. It came out of the engine. Not that it matters. The needle's a needle. Anyway, I'm going to continue on. Little by little getting things fixed on here. There we go. Okay, let me show you guys what's going on with the clutch. Let me move you back a hair. It's actually banging and catching quite hard. I'm not 100% sure as to why it's doing it. Also, on another side note, while it was easier to do the adjustments, I had to turn the idle up a hair and the low speed screw in about 1/8 of a turn. So it's running a little bit better now. High speed is still untouched. Fix is that catching. So we're going to open up the clutch and see what we have in there. I'm going to go grab some tools and we'll start delving into it. Got a 1/2 inch here. Boy, these bolts are just getting away from me. Got any others? Looks like one down there. Don't need an extension for that one. And a 7/16. Hopefully no nuts on the inside. And I think I'm going to have to get a nut off of the inside. Well, that kind of stinks. Well, I'm going to have to run the carburetor out of gas and flip this thing up. I want to get the bolt out of the bottom of that chain guard. So I'll do that off camera. You don't need to hear this thing running until it's out of gas. Not much underneath this blower to get in the way. It's literally just a few chains. Very simple setup. Hopefully the chains are still in good shape. I gotta check over them as we get into this thing. Not sure I want to put tire chains on the wheels though. I'm thinking about it. They were rubber at one time, they're not anymore. It got a little hard. Okay, belt guard. Give it a. Oh, there's another one. 2 nuts and bolts and then 1 bolt. Holding the belt guard on. Well, here's something else interesting is I was looking online to see if I couldn't find information on these about what time they were made, and I couldn't even find any pictures of anything quite like this. This is actually a pretty small one compared to a lot of the others. Nice and easy to pick up and load into like a pickup truck if you had to. Okay, looks like we got a set screw here, and that should take the clutch assembly off. Hopefully it's a needle bearing, not a bushing. If it's a bushing, you have to talk to probably a machine shop to have one made. We'll see when we get to it. One step at a time. I have to grab a tool for that Allen key. Got some tools here. Hey, and it came loose. Oh, there goes something I don't want to lose. Hey. Looks like a shim. Let's see. Bushing doesn't look too bad, so we can probably lube that up. And it looks like we have 2 springs on the engine clutch. Wow, it's actually just sliding right apart. Can't believe that. Okay, we got a collar, washer, bushing, another washer, and then the clutch. Okay. Not sure what I'm going to be able to do as for tightening this up yet. I might just do is lube everything up. Call it good. Let's try that. Because the springs don't look stretched at all. Oops, sorry. The springs aren't stretched or anything. They don't look bad. And unfortunately there's not enough room in there for me to like add a spring. I was hoping it was going to be like a coil spring on the outside, one whole spring, I could just take a couple links out of it. But I can't. So it's one of those things, it is what it is. So we'll leave it the way it is. But we will lubricate that bushing and see if it might be happier then. We got a little tiny keyway that has to go in there with it. Put that one washer back on. Kind of like a fiber's kind of washer. It's not metal. I'm going to grab some bearing grease. I might even clean this up on the wire brush a little bit. I'll do that off camera. I'm going to try and get rid of some of this rough surface here on this oil light bushing here. So I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I got some high temperature grease here. Marine corrosion control and trailer wheel bearing, so on and so forth. We're gonna just put a little bit on the shaft, and I mean a very tiny bit. Just keep it from rusting, chattering too bad. And we're going to put a little bit on the bushing right here. We don't want it to run off and get on the clutch. I don't know what we'd call them, the clutch dog legs, for lack of a better term. Clutch pads. Yeah, I guess I'll go with that. Don't want to get too much on the clutch pads and cause it to slip. Which is, there's one here and one there. So as you can see, there's not much on there. Okay. Oh, sorry. You need a rag and your foot was on it. And we'll put the clutch back on. Clutch doesn't look bad. Gotta mount the chain back on. Put the washer on. We have this set screw retainer put back on. And we'll see if that fixes that catching problem on that clutch. And go from there. You can see okay. No, you can't. There you go. Turn the fuel on and crank her up and see if it's fixed or not, or happier at least. Might just need a little bit of lubrication because it might have been dry. Hoping that's all it was. Turn the idle down a hair and it just fell on its face a little bit. Let me tune that up a little bit better. See what's going on here. But it's not catching as bad anyway, it's a little bit better. Might have to turn the tuning screw in a hair bit more. So, tuning screw was 1 turn out, now it's about 3/4 of a turn out. we're just going to leave that be. I'm going to have to talk to an engine shop about getting some heavier springs for that probably. Let me think about that for a second. I'll turn you guys back on. Okay, I've been fiddling around with the clutch for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sorry I didn't record it, but it was a bit finicky. I took one spring off of the clutch and found a heavier wire gauge spring, and I put that onto the clutch to put it back on. That seems to have fixed the catching issue. I was going to try and see if I couldn't find a new clutch, but because this has 16 teeth on it, I couldn't find an exact clutch for it, so I have to salvage what's on here. I was half thinking about buying a 14 tooth for the future if this doesn't work out good, but I don't think this is going to give me any problems because all I did was change one spring out of those 2 springs on the clutch. Okay. That's the clutch straightened out. I don't think we'll have any more problems with that. Chain tension's okay. I'm not going to worry too much about that because it's not going to see a whole lot of use. What the hey, we'll adjust it. Ear here. That's not too difficult, I don't think. Looks like we're going to need some 1/2-inch bolts, and we'll tighten up that chain. I mean, wouldn't hurt anyway, because then at least I don't have to worry about it becoming a problem in the future. Gotta plug you guys in charge, because the camera uses up a lot of power. That's better. So I'm gonna need a 1/2-inch top and bottom. Ooh, we got carriage bolts on the bottom, so it's gonna be a lot easier to adjust than I had initially thought. And look, they have carriage bolts all the way around. Oh dear. Plastic's just breaking apart. It's what, 40-plus-year-old plastic. I think the engine's 1975 because there was a 5 on the serial. So 1975, I don't think plastic's going to be perfect. The fact that it's even half there is somewhat shocking. I mean, it could have been missing a long time ago. Who knows? So is she going to move forward? That is a yes. Gotta get it right. That should be good. We'll tighten it up right there. Now, one good chain lube is fluid foam. I'll grab a can of that and show that to you guys, so you know what I'm talking about. But that works really good for chains. It doesn't sling off like oil does. Most of the lubricant's job on chains is just to prevent rust anyway, or corrosion. Not much you can do as for lubricating chains. As long as you keep the rust off of the chain, they last a good long while. Now we don't want it super tight because we don't want to bind up the bushing on the clutch, so I left a little bit of play in there. Oop. Kind of bummed a little bit that I hurt that plastic a little bit more than what it was, but that was just decoration. It doesn't do a whole lot otherwise, so at least it makes getting to the cables for lubrication a little bit better. And this was already missing, and that was already missing even before it got here. So it had issues before. You think about it, that's where a lot of ice can actually build up. So I'll go grab that fluid film, which is right over there actually. We'll lube up that chain. I can also lube up the bushings here. I don't think they use bearings on these. I think they're just bushings. Yep. Just bushings in here. I don't like to spray upside down. Okay, that should do it for that. We'll put the belt guide back on. I'm going to lubricate this chain behind here for the auger as well. And the bushings. I think the auger sits on a shaft that runs right through the middle. I'm not seeing any kind of grease fittings for it, because this bolt has to go into something to center everything up. So not much I can do about that. If I ever had a problem with that, I could add some grease fittings to that in the future, but it seems to be okay right now, so I'm going to leave it alone. It's lasted this long, right? It does run nice and smooth. There's no noises anywhere that I can tell. Plastic rollers for the chute are okay. Let's put this back here. I don't think it needs to be that far down. There we go. And looks like one carriage bolt's just spinning, but I think there's enough tension on there. I think we can leave that alone. These are a problem. I like to replace those with bolts instead of those carriage bolts to put on. The round heads on the inside are smooth. They don't catch snow, but then you can't grab them with any kind of tools to keep them from spinning when they decide they want to slip. Okay, I'm going to put the belt cover back on, because we don't need to do anything else in there. I'll keep on moving on. Got our bolt, block washer, and washer that goes in the top here. 2 nuts and bolts that go in the bottom part. That's going to take a little bit of juggling because it's kind of a reach up underneath. I'm going to see if I can't put this up and still keep you guys in shot. Oop. There we go. That'll work. Sorry, my arm's in your way. There we go. Yeah, I can lubricate everything under here as well. I'm surprised that the block is actually cracked underneath here, the aluminum a little bit. Someone rammed that in pretty darn tight to crack that, but it's holding. I'm going to leave it alone. Sorry, you can't see me pointing. Up underneath the exhauster here, the block is actually cracked. I'm not too concerned with it because if this engine block goes bad, I have another 6-horse just waiting to go on it. But I want to keep this as original as possible. It's just be too funny to... Or no, let me think about that. It wouldn't be as funny if we replaced the engine, because it wouldn't be original then. It wouldn't be as it wouldn't have that like still runs kind of factor to it. If that makes any sense, which I find really funny. I forgot to run that carburetor to gas. I hope I don't flood out the engine, but even then I got to change the oil on anyway, because I don't know what they put in it, and I don't know what's in it. It could have water, could have gas, could be the wrong viscosity, could be the wrong oil. Not a big deal, but yeah, I should have run that out of gas before I picked it up. I forgot. Stuff happens. Probably make it hard to start back up, but not going to kill anything. I got some more fluid film. I'm going to lubricate the underneath of it. Let me take you guys underneath so you can see what I'm up to. Sorry. There we go. Just simple bushings everywhere. Nothing complicated at all. Lubricate the wheels up so they don't get stuck on there in case we ever have to change them in the future. Can't be stingy with the lube. Oh, I got the inside part of that yet. Kit. I asked for the clutch, which I gotta get my light out. I'm not sure if it's gonna need much. I mean, it seems to be working. That's on a keyway, and then that just slides back and forth into the clutch cone. Got a little bit of a dust shield that's kind of falling apart, but not much. Oh, it's got a dog leg setup. Okay. So that's simple enough. I can just lube that up and it's good to go. There's no clutch on it. It's just a dog leg. Spins slow enough. It's not a problem. So we'll just lube up everything really good in here. Super simple. This is identical to like a reel mower kind of setup. Very simple stuff. Okay, chain, I'm not worried about that one. That one shouldn't pop. The one on the auger is fine, so how about this auger chain? Nope, that one's a little loose. We're going to have to probably tighten this one up a little bit for the auger. What's involved in doing that? Or do you have to tighten those in pairs maybe? We'll leave that go. We'll leave that for another day. Chain over here is a little bit loose, but we'll leave that for another day. These other chains are fine. Obviously, they don't see a lot of tension on them. So we're all lubed up. We'll drop her down and see if the drive works. And then wait for some snow to test it in some snow. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta get some lubrication on that cable right here, actually. Get some spots right here to lube up. Let me see if I can't turn this. There we go. We'll pull that out one way. Lube up that cable. We'll turn it the other way. Pretty neat setup how that cable works. Sorry, I'm shaking you guys. Just want to make sure everything's lubed up good on it. This rubber piece is probably going to have to come off. Smushed from the pulley a little bit. Maybe it'll go back on. Not sure. Oh, maybe. Yep. Okay, that can stay there. Sorry. A little bit tight. Not sure how I'm going to get back on that back half. I'll try in a little bit. See how well that lubricates it. I think that'll be fine. Yeah, I think it'll be good there. Spray some oil down the center of it, lubricate the pivot point a little bit. Also help prevent some rust in there. Sorry if I'm shaking you guys. Oh, we got another spot to lubricate up here. Oh. Okay. Not much else to do on this thing, I don't think. Put the blower cover back on. Let me see how the drive works on it. I'll move some plastic out of the way so I don't suck that up and throw it into anything. That works. putting the rest of this thing back together. Call her complete. I'm going to put you on pause till I get you guys set up so I can show you putting that cover back on, so hang on. Looks like we're getting there. Everything's starting to work pretty good. Running like it's supposed to. Let's see. Gotta get that thing on. There we go. Missing the original screws for here, but someone had found some replacements for it anyway that work. So we'll just stick them right back in the way it was. As soon as I can find those threads. These things can be a little bit finicky to try and get back on. Come on, screw, get in there. Okay, that's one. I got it now. Yep, that's two. That one wasn't happy. There we go. These aren't the correct screws, but they work. I didn't put them on. They were on there. So I'm gonna roll with it. We got one screw over here. That's not the size I need. That's the one. Okay. Gotta grab that fluid film again. Oop, I got one more piece to put on here. We got that guy. And I want to make sure that primer is sitting level on there. I don't want it to be crooked. So you gotta mess with the nut a little bit. That should do it. Okay. Let me move you guys over so I can show you where I'm going to lube up the cables on the other end. Okay, that's where those cables come out to. Lube up all these pivot points. Can't be stingy with the fluid film. Now this side I can't really see in very well. Not sure how I'm gonna get up in there in that one. I'll call that one good. I'm not going to worry about taking that plastic apart. It's definitely better than it was. Let's lube the inside of it a little bit. If we can get to the inside. All that lube we can get in there, the better. Aye. That's nice. Now the question is, do we need to run some rubber paddles on the auger? Excuse me again. Now these augers are the paddles that throw the snow are only about I don't know, maybe a ½ inch from the back of the blower. So I don't think I'm going to worry about putting rubber paddles on there. We'll see how it goes when we get some snow. It seems to be in pretty good order. If it was like 3/4 of an inch, I'd probably be putting rubber paddles on here, but it's only like a ½ inch, so we'll see how it throws snow before I worry about that. Now I do have to adjust these skid shoes higher because we're going to be on some rocky terrain. So I guess I can get you guys on camera doing that, or have you guys do it, or have you watch while I'm doing it, however way you want to word that. I'm going to say it's probably a ½ inch. Is it? It is. Let me grab a socket wrench. That'll work. What about that high? Don't want to suck up all the rocks in this thing and spit them out. If we can help it. Looks like I can't really go down any lower with that, can I? That'll work. It's nice when nothing's really wore out to the point where you have to fix a bunch of stuff. It's actually not in too bad a shape, especially for its age. I'll kind of keep my finger where that ratchet was at. Knock it up on the other side. can only imagine how many of these things have been scrapped over the years. And they're so simple, it's easy to work on. I still gotta tighten up that one bolt on top yet. I can hear you guys yelling at me. It's like, hey, you never tighten up that one bolt. The other two I'm pretty sure are tight. Yep, everything else is tight. Okay. Ooh, does that need to tighten up at all? Nah, I think I can leave that one alone. We are good. Golden. Now all we need is some snow. Let's get her out into the sunlight a little bit and I'll turn you guys back on, so hang on. Okay, not done yet. I was thinking I was done, but I forgot two things. One was I needed to test run the engine to see what the max speed was, and the max speed was not fast enough. So I came in and I moved the governor back one wire. Never said I was perfect. Was all the way in, it was too slow, so I had to go out in the middle. It was all the way out, now I'm in the middle. It's too fast on the outside and too slow on the inside, so I went right in the middle. Next thing I did was I was tuning the carburetor a little bit better. You can get into the idle speed at an angle past that heat shield. Another problem I noticed when I was overspeeding a little bit while I was still adjusting it is it was spitting oil out the crankcase vent right here, which is why this is all soaked in oil. Probably why these bolts might have come loose. So we have a problem with oil. You can see it's dripping on the floor. So I thought we'll just do an oil change before I change oil, see how much oil is in it, see if it's over full or not. But I'll change oil anyway, and I'll show you how it's done. Thankfully, the frame of the snowblower is already tilted back a little ways, so and there's really nothing underneath it to really catch the oil. So all I gotta do is just put a pan underneath it, and that's it. And I have just the pan right here. Well, almost. Maybe not. It's too tall. We'll go with plan B. I think I'm gonna have to get some blocks underneath the wheels to pick it up a hair. I'll come up with something. I'll get 3 2x4s and pick it up a couple inches so I can get this underneath there. That's all. So hang on. Okay, I got my blocks of woods underneath there. Let's see if I can catch the oil good or not. And we'll leave it just like that. I'll grab a rag quick. So let's see what's going on. Why is it puking up the oil? I'm curious. Yeah, not the nicest looking oil in the world either. Yeah, it's over full. That's why it's spitting it up. So we shall fix that. I like an adjustable in these. You can use probably like a 5/16 opening on this and it'll probably come out. I don't want to do that. Come on, baby. Okay, I'm going to have to see if I have an 8-point for that because that thing is tight. Okay, I couldn't find an 8-point, but I do have a 12-point, a 7/16 12-point that'll fit. Boy, I almost missed that. Yeah, that is not very nice looking oil. Well, I'll be cleaning up a mess, but it is what it is. I caught most of it. As for oil, I'm going to use that right there. It's going to probably take a half a quart, a little over a half a quart. I think that's enough. Cork that off, plug that off. I didn't spill any oil, that's just anti-corrosion protection. That's all that is. It's just not going to rust there, that's all. Oil is going to have some aeration in it because it was running, but it does have a foggy look to it, like it might have had some moisture contamination in it. So we'll get her all cleaned up and taken care of. Make sure you remember to tighten those plugs up because you don't want them coming loose or leaking. Okay, I'm going to put this heater box back on, then I'll turn you guys back on when I go fill it up with oil. So, be right back. Okay, I'll take that out. Put that in. And start filling her up. This is a full quart, so we're going to aim for the 16-ounce mark. You want to fast forward, now's the time to do it. Or I could put you on pause. How's that? Okay, let's see where our level's at. Now, these ones you're supposed to thread them in when you check the oil. So you gotta thread it all the way in, and then all the way out. Not sure how good you guys are gonna see that. Let me get my flashlight. Where's it at? There it is. Come on, focus you. There we go. And we still got a ways to go before we're full. So I'll put about 8 more ounces in. Actually, I'll put 4 more in. So we're going to go from the 16 line down to the 12. Come on, drain out already. This engine's also tilted back a hair, so I don't need to have this full. Yep, we're right at the full mark now. So 4 ounces more than a half a quart to fill her up. So let's see how it sounds now. Let me get it off the blocks and I'll move you guys back a little bit. Okay, let's see how it's going to run now. Everything's all adjusted. Wants to freewheel a little bit on its own, but that's not a problem. Much in snow yet. I'll turn you guys around. When we get it, I'll make sure I get a video for you guys, but that is it for this one. So if you liked the video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye. Hey, make sure you subscribe to the channel because you never know what the next project could be. Could be good.